Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name is Johnny Rashman. I tell you what, that was a fucking action-packed night of boxing, that was. I'm telling you. But I've got to be honest with you, too much. The clashes are too much now. It is inevitable. There's that many boxing broadcasters, promotional outlets that you're going to have shows clash on the same night. However, I don't want to be having Richard Riakporhe on my TV and Josh Wellington on my phone or my iPad, watching on two different screens. It's just not the way to be, is it? What can you do about it? I don't know. There's not really a lot you can do. It's going to happen, but it's not great. And then you've got later on in the night, you've got Tim Tszyu fighting, and you've got Lee Selby, and it's just clash after clash, and it's just like, fucking hell, it fries your head. It literally fries your head. Got to sort that out. Right. Let's get into it. Josh Wellington, Kiko Martinez. First of all, I've got to say, what a fucking atmosphere that was. I tell you what, those Leeds fans are something else. They really are. It's the closest thing I've seen to Ricky Hatton, as in the fan base sense. It really is. Different with Ricky Hatton, he was more of a nationwide star. So, especially towards the end, he had a lot of fans from London and different parts of the UK, where even though we were all fans of Josh Wellington, he's Leeds. Do you know what I mean? His fan base is just predominantly Leeds, right? And the noise is just sensational. There are some fans. Right? I'm a United fan. We all hate the Leeds fans in the football sense, but you've got to respect them. Unbelievably good fan base, great atmosphere. From looking at the fight, right, I'm glad Josh Wellington won the fight, right? Was it a good performance? Yes. Was it a smart performance? Absolutely not. I'm looking at that performance and I'm thinking, you're doing the same things that you were doing 4 or 5 years ago. And what I mean by that is he's getting in, right? He's standing in the pocket and he's just letting a barrage of punches go with just absolutely no regard for what's coming back. It's sort of like windmilling if you actually look at it. It's just head down, bang, bang. And that's fine. And obviously there was a bit of technique to it, but against a good fighter, you're gonna get put to sleep against a strong fighter. Now, I was surprised just how much Wellington traded with Martinez. I know before the finish, he was I think he took a few rounds off. He was circling the ring and getting out of range and distance. But for large parts of the fight, he just stood there and traded with Martinez. Now, I did say in my pre-fight prediction that I thought Martinez was shot. I thought Galahad was winning the fight before he got caught. I did say that. And he's a tough man, Kiko Martinez, but he didn't really offer much, to be quite honest with you. Yes, he kept coming forward, but he was overwhelmed by Josh Wellington. But the performance from Josh Wellington, for me, it wasn't smart. I think if you're going to go up against a good puncher, you're going to get put to kip. You can't just windmill and put your head down and throw and let your hands go with no regard for what's coming back. Because that's exactly what it was. There's no regard for what's coming back. And the fans there, maybe, I think the fans being there, I think that sort of, it makes Wellington go out of himself. You can see his energy's up. He lives for the crowd. But I think that's not. You can see it where it gets to him, it affects him, and he's just starts letting his hands go, and you can literally see it. There's no skill in that. It's just letting your hands go and trying to overwhelm your opponent. But you come up against a fighter that's not past his best. All they need to do literally is just take one on the glove and counter, slip and counter. Good fighter will do that. So it is. I am a bit concerned for that performance from Wellington. I really am. I can say, yeah, great performance and all this and all that, but I'm looking at it from a tactical point of view. And I think against a good fighter who's going to be in fucking danger, he's going to be in really big danger if he keeps that approach up. I thought he should have boxed more. I think Martinez was there to outbox. I think for me, I want to see him choose his time to go in. Choose the right time to let the shots go, to pull it on his opponent. For me, it was just literally every second of every minute of every round. And at 31 years of age, are you going to be able to keep that up against a good puncher? Do you know what I mean? So look, I'm glad he's a world champion. Good for the UK. And he's got the fan base. You know, you bring that fan base, you have options. And he puts the work in. The fans all love him. Right? He's a good guy. And that's why he gets the options that he does. He puts the work in, doesn't he? Now, Lee Wood, do me a fucking favour, mate. Jesus Christ. You asked to come in the ring. Wellington has just won. It's 2 British fighters, right? It's a unification fight. It's going to sell out a stadium. The microphone's been put to you, and you say, oh, let him enjoy his night. Jesus Christ, mate. Fucking hell. It really wasn't hard to read that scenario, right? Let me tell you something. In the middle of that fight, everyone's thinking, oh, I tell you what, Wellington and Wood, that's going to be tasty. By the end of it, after doing what you did, no one was talking about it. Yes, we still want to see it, ultimately, and it is a good fight. And I'm not saying Lee Wood should have created fake beef, but fucking hell, mate, play the fucking game. What is wrong with you? You're in the ring in a Leeds arena, right? They're booing you, and you just go, oh, let him enjoy his night. Right, just get off my TV screen, mate. Seriously, get off. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ. Give the fans something, right? Because I'm telling you, I was watching that and I'm thinking, I tell you what, Wellington and Wood, that's going to be tasty as fuck. I want a bit of that. After it, I wasn't thinking about it. You had your chance, mate. Make some noise. Get things going. That was your opportunity. Terrible mistake, that, just not to say anything. Now, I know that might not be in Lee Wood's character, and I am warming to Lee Wood as a fighter. I didn't think it was a great performance against Conlan, but obviously the blood and the guts and the thunder, you've got to respect that. But fucking hell, mate, that was your time to create something, get the juices flowing. What's wrong with you, mate? Fuck's sake. And then when honestly, I was just like, just fucking about. I don't want to hear you, mate. Get off my screen. Ebony Bridges. Now, one thing I will say about Ebony Bridges is that she is a tough bird, right? She's a strong girl. She really is, right? I know she gives it out there, and the whole Leeds thing is a bit cringe, to be quite honest with you. It is. You know, it's like she's a Leeds fan. It's like, all right. It's a bit cringe, that. But look, she puts the work in outside of it. She's a smart girl. She built a profile. But you know what? She can fight. Is she the best technical boxer that's ever lived? No. But one thing that you can't deny is that Ebony Bridges is a tough girl, right? She really is. She doesn't stop coming forward. You have to respect that, right? You have to respect that. The fight itself, I'm watching that fight towards the end, I'm thinking, this is a close fight, right? It was definitely a lot closer than the scorecard suggested. Like, the scorecards, I don't understand it, just fucking miles apart than what it was. It was a close fight. It looked like she was getting hurt, Bridges, towards the end. It looked like Roman was just sucking it up, right, letting her tire herself out. And then the second half of the fight, she was putting that on Bridges. But Bridges didn't stop coming forward, to be fair. But what do you look at? Do you look at the better work, the cleaner work, or the overall work? Do you know what I mean? It was cleaner work coming from Roman. Did I think she lost the fight, Bridges? Maybe. I wouldn't have argued. But those scorecards are terrible. I mean, that's the champion as well. The champion getting their decision like that. Not good. It's not the biggest robbery in the world, but the scorecard just didn't reflect the fight. Just get the fucking scores right. That's all we're asking. It's every fight now. Not difficult, is it? Just score the fight how it should be scored. That is it. Happy for Ebony Bridges, though. Lot of options now for her. Who would have thought after she fought Shannon Courtney that she'll be the one with the belt? And you can see after it, when they were interviewing her, she was like, "Yeah, you're not getting a shot. you got to get in line." Because Courtney wasn't exactly nice to her, was she? Before their fight, so can't blame her. Dalton Smith has got all the ability in the world. Great counter puncher, good combination puncher, shot selection, very high level. But I'm looking at Dalton Smith though, and I'm thinking, got a bit of reservations about the gas tank. He seemed to, I don't know, he seems to be one of those fighters where he's very explosive, but it's sort of a burst of shots, and then he has time off. It's like sort of like Chris Eubank Jr. a little bit. It's like they throw the combinations, then they have to have 30 seconds off, a minute off. With Smith though, I don't know if he has the engine that Chris Eubank Jr. has. I don't. I think if a big, strong pressure fighter will cause him trouble, I really do. He has got all the ability. He's a great talent, but I think he does need to work on that. Because for me last night, it was too many shots thrown in bursts and not consistent. It looked great, 3-4 combinations or 2 uppercuts, and it looked sensational to watch. But then he'd have a rest for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, and there's too much rest for me. So I think he has to work on that. He has to work on throwing more. The opponent, Ray Millett, he's a shot fighter, I think, Ray Millett. He was a great amateur, but I don't know if it maybe because his timing didn't seem to be there and he was becoming a bit of a punch bag at times. I thought it was the right stoppage from Packy Collins. Absolutely, 100% the right stoppage, right? You can't. Packy Collins is an experienced coach. You can see in the corners, giving them good advice, but Millett just couldn't put his foot on the gas, could he? And Smith, it was a good performance from Dalton Smith, and I could be on the hype train and say, yeah, this guy's going to be world champion and blah, blah, blah. Does he have the ability? Yes. But the gas tank, I'm not impressed with. I think he needs to go to work on that because when you step up the levels, the top level fighters won't give you that break. When you throw your combinations, they're back at you, right? They're not going to give you a 20-second, 30-second break that Millett was doing last night, right? Those top Mexican-American fighters, they're going to be fucking breathing on you, putting it on you. Does Smith have the ability to keep a strong pressure fighter off for 12 rounds? Can he keep him off him? I don't know because they'll be on him. As soon as he lets his shots go, bang, on him. Right? They might take some, but they'll keep coming at him. So I'm a bit concerned about the gas tank. So it'll be interesting to see, but he's a fucking phenomenal talent, Dalton Smith. He really is. Looking forward to see how he progresses. Right, we had the Sky card. Adam Azim. Well, look, the guy who was fighting, you can't look too much into it, but it was a good performance, wasn't it? Right, it was a solid performance. When you put on a performance like that, it gets people talking, doesn't it? It does. The one thing to put eyes on you, people can talk before fights and build their profiles that way, but the best way to get eyeballs on you is to knock your opponent out in devastating fashion, and that's what Adam Azim did, right? And he's got something a little bit about him. He doesn't look like a talker or particularly flashy, flamboyant guy, but he's got this confidence about him. It's like a steely confidence, and you think, you know what? I think this guy is going to be as good as he says he's going to be. So, good talent, Adam Azim. Richard Riakpo, it was a good finish. The thing with Riakpo is just sometimes he gets a bit stale in the fights. It's like, it can be a bit boring sometimes. I'm not going to lie. There's sometimes I'm watching him, it gets a bit flat, and then he can produce some out of nothing. So I'd like to see more intensity from him. But he's a good fighter, and he's going to be, he's going to be hard to beat. But I don't think he's world title material, Richard Riakpo. I don't know. I want to see more from him. I was watching some of the Sky boxer broadcast, and I wasn't impressed with that bloke who, I don't know what he was doing. Before a fight came on, he was like, came up with some motivational quote, and then he kept asking the fighters, "How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Is it your Is it your day today? Is it you going to take the opportunity?" And it's like, all right, you've said it once. How are you feeling? Are you feeling good? All right, you've said it twice. How are you feeling? You feeling good? You said it 3 times. It's like, it's a bit cheesy, that. I mean, I like the boxer broadcast, but I don't really want to see that before a fight. I mean, especially Conor Marsden. He's going up to Conor Marsden, who clearly knows he's the underdog in that fight. You know, he's there to lose, isn't he? And he's saying, "Oh, how are you feeling? Is your best feeling of your life?" and all this. And Conor Marsden's giving it, "Yeah, I'm ready," and all that. And he gets put to Kip Dunny in nearly 20 seconds. So I think that segment, it just needs to lay off it a little bit. We don't need to have it rammed down our throats like before the fight and what the fighters are feeling. Yes, there's a time for it, but come on. It's a bit too much in that broadcast. I don't want to see it all the time, but it is what it is. Tim Tszyu claimed a victory in his American debut, got knocked down in the first round, but didn't reflect the fight, dominated his opponent. Lee Selby, sad end for Lee Selby last night in Argentina, got took out in 5 rounds against Gustavo Lemos. That was an IBF fan eliminator for, obviously, Kambosos Jr.'s crown. Selby, great fighter. Not sure how he actually got an IBF fan eliminator shot again after losing to Kambosos in the last fight. But he's a talented fighter, Selby. But when you go into Argentina, so you're gonna be up against it. I think the promotion of it was just like non-existent. Lee Selby's a world-class fighter. There was just no talk about it, and it's a shame for Lee Selby. You know, I think he's posted on social media that he's struggling to compete with the young fighters, but I don't think it's the end for him. You know, I think there's a few more fights for Lee Selby. I'd like to see him back in Britain though, so we'll see how it pans out. Let me know what your thoughts. What do you think about Lee Wood just not playing the game and saying nothing? Do you think he should have called Wellington out? How do you think that fight goes? Let me know your thoughts. Like, comment, subscribe.